Hey, it's Rob from Highman ZXC. Quick video, but I wanted to give my 2 cents on if I owned 5 radio stations, since I think that's the legal limit for Austin for you to own. This is a hypothetical thing, so don't take this seriously, especially that wonderful site that loves me very much. That's sarcasm, by the way. Any case, if I owned 93.3, I would put B93 back and I would make it a dance pop station with no autotune and no hip hop and R&B. The reason why B93 failed, the reason why Mega 93.3 failed, is because it didn't have like name recognition. People were like, what does Mega even mean? Because if they had called it B93 in 2001 when they flipped a dance, people go like, "Oh wow, the B is back. Let's listen to it." But calling it Mega, people were like, "What's Mega mean?" And they're saying, "Move to it. We're the best dance station." Not really. When I listened to air checks, they were playing like Eve, Let Me Blow Your Mind. They were playing Ludacris. They were playing Nelly. They were playing. Those are hip hop songs. Then they were playing like Pink, and they were playing O Town. Those are pop songs. Then they were playing like Janet Jackson. Those are pop songs. Those are not dance songs. You can't move to that. They had a few dance songs like Serena Paris, the Vandal, Sonique, La Bouche. You can put a little freestyle in there, but mostly it was kind of like a pop station with a few dance tracks drizzled on. That's why Mega didn't last. Not because, according to Jay Michaels, dance doesn't really even exist anymore. No, it's because Mega. The reason why Mega didn't work was because it was a train wreck. You needed to tweak the format to make it sound more dance and get rid of all those hip hop and R&B and pop songs that you were sprinkling in that was throwing your listeners out. They even played like Destiny's Child, Beyonce. That's not dance, that's not moving to it at all. That's why Mega didn't last very long, because they couldn't connect with their audience. It was a disconnect. So I would call, and also the name didn't make any sense. What does Mega mean? Mega doesn't really mean anything to Austin. B93, if they call it just like, the B is back, B93 is back, playing all the hits again, then it would have made more sense to sound like that. Because then, yeah, at first I would resurrect B93 and make it a pop dance station with no R&B, no hip hop, no heavy rock. I would focus on dance, freestyle, stuff like that. Next station I would own, Mix 947. I would rename it Capital 947 because Intercom has totally ruined the definition of what Mix 947 even means. You know what I would call it? Capital 94.7 FM, KAPT. I would bring back the KAPT callers if I could, or something similar to that. That's what 94.7 signed on as in between 1987 and 1989. It was a country pop station, but I would not make it a country pop station. I would make it an alternative AC station. What Mix was supposed to be from the get-go. What Mix 947 was supposed to be was an alternative hit music station, alternative to KHFI, an alternative to 101X. Now it sounds exactly like KHFI. It's just KHFI's stepbrother. Next, I would buy Magic 95.5, or as I like to call it, the skeleton of 95.5, and rename it 95.5, The Rain, continuous, relaxing, easy favorites. And jettison everything from 2000. Just jettison it. Those songs are like The Plague, Typhoid Mary. Take out every one of them. Play either yacht radio or just mix it in with some soft tunes and try to actually have, real variety. Next station I would run, I would own 102.3. Just put the beat to rest. The beat only really made sense on 104.3. Didn't make sense on 104.9. Never made sense on 105.9. never made sense on 102.3. The ratings are terrible on 102.3. I would resurrect Z1023 and call it 102.3 The Mountain. Classic rock and a little bit of Without the Hard Edge. I would of course distinguish it different from Magic 955. Magic 955 would be soft music, while 102.3 would play rock and a little bit of rock without the hard edge, like 98.9 The Hill. Last channel I would own would be 105.9. I would jettison those people from EMF as fast as possible, and I would bring back Jammin' 105.9 as Party 105.9. No, don't confuse it with Party 93.3 HD3. I would get rid of HD on all my channels. I would turn off all the HDs because that's just interference. The HD hash is repulsive. It is screwing up the analog service, and the static is just terrible. I would move Party from 93.3 HD3 and put it on 105.9 as a jammin' oldie station from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Once again, nothing from the 2000s, not touching anything from the 2000s. The only thing that would probably touch the 2000s would be Capital 94.7, playing music from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Yeah. The 2010s and the 20s are like Typhoid Mary. There's really no new songs. It's just auto-tune, and it's just a bunch of remakes of slightly better songs. Everything is just a remake now. And they had to drag Kate Bush, a song I never heard of, running up that hill because they ran out of songs. They didn't have any songs to play, so they had to rehash Kate Bush running up that hill as a new song. I thought it was a new song. I've never heard this. I didn't know the song was made on the year I was born. I didn't know this was a 1985 song. Way to insult the year that the radio king, me, the guy who literally loves radio. If anyone hearts radio, it's me, not Clear Channel, not Cheap Channel, not Clueless, aka Cumulus, not Intercom. I have hearted radio since 1993. Anyone who loves radio, it's me. Clear Channel, Cumulus, Intercom, EMF, they don't like radio. They don't like their employees. They take away variety, and they are obsessed with commercials. I care about the airwaves. I care about music. I would not have any translators. I would just in HD. It doesn't work for anything. And just saying radio is just a business is just shallow. You need to care about your employees. You need to care about your music. You need to care about your imaging and transition and have jingles. Don't just associate everything with an app. The radio frequency is what has come first since the early 1900s. Apps have only been around since the 2000s. They're not well established like FM radio is. Fewer commercials, more music, more variety, and have every station sound completely different is what made radio so much fun before the weird 2000s and the 10s. Corporate suits ruined radio. So that's why I never call Clear Channel iHeart. They don't heart radio. Cumulus doesn't heart radio. Intercom does not heart radio. EMF does not heart radio. I heart radio. So 93.3, 94.7, 955, 102.3, and 105.9 would be the stations I would buy. I would save those signals in Austin. You guys have a great day. I'm Robert from Hobbyman ZXC, and I care about radio since 1993. Thank you, Mix 106.3, KOOC Belton Temple Killeen. Scott Reese with the workday going by faster. 30 years. You guys have a wonderful evening.